And let's talk about these NFL coaches that are on the hot seat. Dan Quinn, his Atlanta Falcons are 0-2. Adam Gase, his New York Jets, 0-2. Matt Patricia, his Detroit Lions, 0-2 on the season. So a simple question here, Clarence. Which NFL coach between these three head coaches deserves to be fired first?
You know what's crazy? Because this was difficult though. That was a good question. That was a good. This is a great discussion that we about to have with this. Because right here, I was just thinking all day, which coach should be fired first? Because you have Adam Gase that's not doing a great job of developing Sam Darnold as he's supposed to be. He's a first round pick. You have Dan Quinn that ever since the Super Bowl, they're still hung over from that, and they ain't make the postseason like in 3 years. And you have the Detroit Lions, which his players love about him. They love about him is the charisma that he brings into the locker room. He excuse me. He's one of those players, coaches that care for you and want to do better. He have great conversations individually with all of them, and they say he brings so much positive energy in there. But some of them has a few questions. I mean, like they question his lack of leadership at times. But we can get into that some other day. But I think the coach that should be fired first, though, Trey, that should be fired first. And I'm gonna just be honest with you, it ain't Adam Gase. I don't think it's Adam Gase. I think at this point though, when you still have elite quarterbacks, elite players on your team though, you have to find a coach that can mold them in and still keep them on the right path. I think the Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn should go, in my opinion. I think he should leave because for the simple fact that the Falcons was a playoff team. They was competitive, and they had a consistent. They have an elite quarterback in Matt Ryan, elite receiver in Julio Jones, which this season he's not even healthy for real. He's not being reliable, and they had to roll with Calvin Ridley. But the thing is, the defense scares me. The defense scares me a lot, and I see a lot of potential in their rookie Terrell over there on the corner. He's done a great job. He actually one of the best top corner that was rated with a less pass completion with 34%. I think that's great, but for Dan Quinn not trying to find another answer for it, I think he's more on the hot seat. Now, I didn't say Adam Gase because I'm actually riding the train that Trevor Lawrence should come to New York Jets. And I think if Adam Gase get a quarterback like that, he would know what to do with him. Because remember, think about it. Tannehill was a dual threat in Miami. He had some success with him. I think when you get a younger quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, he go find something. He go find the identity in the Jets organization. But my answer, I'm definitely rolling with Dan Quinn. Matt Patricia, they see him as like their top leaders. And if he still have Matthew Stafford, he's not going anywhere. But Dan Quinn, it's been unacceptable. I think he should go.
I disagree with you. I think the answer here is Adam Gase, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. And I'm not a believer in Adam Gase. I don't believe Adam Gase deserved the Jets job to begin with, Clarence, because when he was in Miami, as Miami head coach, he went 23-25, won 47% of his games. I think he got the Dolphins to the playoffs maybe 1 year, but that Dolphins team never competed in the AFC East. They got completely dominated by Tom Brady and Bill Belichick multiple years in the AFC East. And now Adam Gase, somehow, some way, he gets a job with the New York Jets, a job I don't even think he really deserved to get to begin with. And when he had his press conference, Clarence, he was high at his press conference. Did you see that man at that press conference? Did you see him? He was high. Like he was high. Yes, he was on something. Like it was not normal. I think Adam Gase deserves to be fired, even more so than Dan Quinn. I'm going to get to Dan Quinn here in a minute. But when it comes to Adam Gase, so far since he's been with the New York Football Jets, he's 7-11. So he doesn't even have a winning percentage as head coach of the Jets. Since Le'Veon Bell has arrived with the New York Jets, Le'Veon Bell is irrelevant now. When Le'Veon Bell was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I thought Le'Veon Bell was the best running back in the NFL. Since he's been with the New York Jets, all of a sudden, Le'Veon Bell can't play football no more? Le'Veon Bell's one of the best running backs we have in the NFL. He doesn't like playing for Adam Gase. We saw Jamal Adams. He wanted out of New York. I wonder why. Oh, because Adam Gase is the head coach. I think Adam Gase doesn't know how to lead men. He doesn't know how to lead his team to wins overall. I think he got this job, because he know people in that Jets organization. I don't think he necessarily got the job because of his credentials and what he's accomplished. I think Adam Gase should be fired. And Dan Quinn, although he has come up small for the Atlanta Falcons when they've had big leads in games, at least Dan Quinn has a Super Bowl appearance on his resume. At least Dan Quinn has gotten the Atlanta Falcons to the playoffs in his career, so far. At least Dan Quinn has led a quarterback like Matt Ryan to an MVP award. Dan Quinn, although I think he deserves to be fired, I think Dan Quinn has led this Atlanta Falcons team to the playoffs, and they've had some success. Therefore, I think Dan Quinn, although he needs to be fired, I think Adam Gase needs to be fired before even Dan Quinn.
See, but here's the thing, though. Here's the wild card of this situation, in my opinion, that Dan Quinn's situation is different from I will say Matt Patricia and Adam Gase. I feel like for those organizations, they're still finding players so they can build around, so they can build a football team. So in their at perspective, they're losing now to win later. But for Dan Quinn's side, that he's been consistent. He's been consistent of winning since he took over the head coaching gig. He helped led the Falcons to the Super Bowl, but ever since the Super Bowl, he had no success years later. Now it's like he ain't make the playoffs in 3 years straight. He made the playoffs 3 straight years. And Arthur Blank, he spoke on Dan Quinn is safe, but in reality, is he really? Like that right there? Oh, excuse me. I don't know why. All I'm saying is basically like you built something in Atlanta, you took it to the promised land, you blew the lead, and then after that Super Bowl, what happened then? I mean, you made it to the first round. After the next round, y'all got booted out, and then after that 3 straight losing seasons. How you can have a losing season with all that talent on that team?
No, I understand that. But see, here's the thing. At least Dan Quinn got to a Super Bowl. Adam Gase hasn't shown an ability to consistently get his team to the playoffs. And here's the thing. You think Ryan Tannehill is an elite quarterback, right? You think this is what you said?
He's playing well this year. He's doing good in these 2 games.
Is Ryan Tannehill an elite quarterback? Yes or no? He's not elite, but you say he is. Okay, so if Ryan Tannehill is elite as you think he is, like if he's elite like you say he is, right? Wouldn't Adam Gase have gotten the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs more than 1 year while he was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins? He only got the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs 1 year. He was only there 3 years. He only got them to the playoffs 1 year. If Ryan Tannehill is an elite quarterback, you would think Adam Gase and Ryan Tannehill could get the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs. They didn't get to the playoffs because they had an incompetent coach. Adam Gase is an incompetent coach. Okay, we are starting to see a pattern of players who don't like playing for Adam Gase. Like I said, Jamal Adams got traded to the Seattle Seahawks. Jamal Adams is one of the best safeties we have in the National Football League. And all of a sudden, he wanted out of New York. Now, New York, the Jets always has been a bad franchise for the most part. I mean, they had a few years where they got to the playoffs under Rex Ryan, and they made some noise with Mark Sanchez and Braylon Edwards and, on that team. And my man Bart Scott, I don't know if you remember Bart Scott.
Can't wait.
Remember Bart Scott after they beat the Patriots when he had that press conference with Sal Palantonio? Can't wait. That was hilarious, man.
And Chad was trolling him one time.
Yeah, but that New York Jets team hasn't really that franchise hasn't really been a good franchise. But I just think they're not being led by the right man, and I think Adam Gase needs to be fired. At least with Dan Quinn, he's had some success and led his team to a Super Bowl, and they've gotten to the playoffs multiple years under his stewardship. I just think Adam Gase, you're not going anywhere with him. Now, when it comes to Matt Patricia, the funny thing about Matt Patricia is I think Matt Patricia has a talented quarterback in Matthew Stafford. I don't know why.
Is he elite?
Who? Matthew Stafford?
Yeah.
I think when Matthew Stafford is healthy, I think he is a tier below elite. I don't think
that makes sense.
I don't think he deserves to be in that Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson. I don't think he deserves to be in that tier, but I think he's a tier below when he's healthy. I've seen Matthew Stafford play very well for the Detroit Lions. Yes, I think I've seen him, play at a high level for the Lions. It's just he can't stay healthy. That's the problem with Matthew Stafford. The issue that I have with Matt Patricia is I've heard some players, they've had some issues with his coaching style. He hasn't done a great job at being able to relate to his players. That's one of the things that you have to do when you're a head coach in the NFL, Clarence. It's not always about X's and O's. It's not always about what kind of scheme you can, put together for your team to be successful. It's also about, can you develop relationships with your players to where your players want to play for you? That's one of the things that I always say about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin does a great job at building relationships with his players. You notice players never have anything negative to say about Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin is a player's coach. He knows his football as well. He knows how to scheme up a defense to get stops. He's a great coach, but these coaches have to do a better job at developing relationships with their players. I think that's where Matt Patricia has struggled so far in his coaching career. I think sometimes when these coaches come from that Bill Belichick tree, they try to coach like Belichick. They try to coach like Belichick. You can't coach like Bill Belichick. You have to develop your own coaching style. A lot of coaches that come from that Bill Belichick tree, they don't coach well when they lead their teams. Do you notice that?
I agree. I don't like Joe Judge for the New York Giants. He's in question right now because you lost your star running back in Saquon Barkley. You signed Devontae Freeman. You want to see how they're going to maneuver now, and they ain't been putting up a lot of points so far in this season.
They haven't. I agree with you, and I told you even in the offseason, I had questions about whether or not Joe Judge even deserved the job because I didn't like the fact that Eric Bieniemy didn't get a job from Kansas City, the offensive coordinator.
Right.
It's so hard to pronounce his last name, but I'm gonna just say Eric. Eric deserves a head coaching job. Eric was the offensive coordinator for the best offense in the NFL. I know Andy Reid is a legendary head coach. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame one day. I know Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Fame quarterback himself. I know they got a ton of weapons offensively. You got one of the best tight ends in the NFL in Travis Kelce. You got one of the best wide receivers in Tyreek Hill. They have a great system in Kansas City. I think Eric deserves some of that credit that team has accomplished. I think he deserves a head coaching job. And I didn't like the fact that Joe Judge got a head coaching job over Eric. I didn't like the fact that Matt Rule, he came from the collegiate level, Clarence. He got a job with the Carolina Panthers over Eric Bieniemy. So it just made no sense to me why he didn't get a job.
So let me ask you this. Yeah, that's crazy, though. I wanted him to come for the Bengals. He would have came to the Bengals. I would have been ecstatic. Now, I would have been ecstatic. Him and Joe Burrow, and he basically been behind Patrick Mahomes. Like, yeah, I would have been like, yeah, we got Patrick Mahomes' secret weapon, Trey.
Yeah.
But
I think one more thing I want to say. I think sometimes these black coaches, they get a bad rap, Clarence. I think sometimes these NFL owners, they don't give these black coaches the opportunities that they give some of the white coaches. I'm not saying this race involved or none of that. I'm just saying that there are people that they prefer certain other individuals over other individuals. So I think that's why they give those white coaches the edge over the black coaches. I'm not accusing nobody of being racist, but it's awfully funny some of these coaches in the NFL, they're not getting their opportunities to coach these teams, and there are coaches that are in college that are white that come straight to the NFL and get coaching jobs. Cliff Kingsbury, he got the job with the Arizona Cardinals. I didn't think Cliff Kingsbury deserved that Arizona Cardinals job. Honestly, I don't think he deserved that job with the Arizona Cardinals. I thought you could have looked at, it's a ton of other coaches you could have looked at. Like, you could have looked at Eric Bieniemy. You could have looked at Marvin Lewis. Like, Marvin Lewis, when he was with the Bengals, he wasn't a bad coach. He wasn't a bad coach. Like,
he had some parts in it that was bad, though. Like in second half adjustments, that was something bad.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but for the most part, Marvin Lewis had success as a coach.